Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Istida Iqbal, and I'm going to talk about sustainability of cement production and LC3. So, what is sustainability, or why are we concerned with sustainability? So, let me give you an example. Suppose there's a construction, there's a structure. For how long do we want it to last, or we expect it to last? 50 years, 60 years, let's say 100 years. So for the structure to last for 100 years, does that just last on its own, or we need to do repair and maintenance? We need to do repair and maintenance, right? And the next question, why do we want it to last? So that we can use it, or the future generations can also use it, not only us. So that is the concept of sustainability. When we are utilizing resources, or when we are using some new product, we just don't want it to be usable for us. We also want it to sustain. We want it to be used by the future generations also. So thereby, that is the concept of sustainability. Now, sustainability is a very broad concept. We just can't club in that this product is very sustainable in terms of this aspect. So we can have different aspects by what we can measure sustainability. Now, in terms of LC3 and cement, I'd like to talk about two broad aspects, that is the environmental aspect and the economic sustainability. And I would be focusing on the environmental sustainability in my presentation. So why do we need to look into these environmental aspects? Now, first is the greenhouse gas emissions. So greenhouse gas emissions, we all know how this is a major topic nowadays, how this is a topic which is of a bit of more concern as when we talk about cement. Why? Because this greenhouse gas emissions, they lead to global warming effect, we all know. And this global warming effect is leading to what? Climate change. And thereby, this is a very important topic that we need to look upon. Next is the energy consumption. So energy consumption, yes, obviously we are utilizing resources, we are getting new products, thereby we are utilizing more energy, which requires the higher fuel utilization. Next is the high utilization of resources, because yes, we are getting new products, so we are utilizing resources. So we need to be energy and resource efficient also when we talk about sustainability. Next is the fourth point, that is the waste generation. We all know the 3 R's that we talk about: reduce, reuse, recycle. So that is basically why we are talking about that. We are talking about that because we want to reduce our waste, or we want to utilize the waste. So next, coming to the most important part that we talk about when we talk about cement in terms of environment, is the carbon dioxide emissions. With every ton of cement produced, we get 0.6 ton of carbon dioxide emitted. And that is contributing to around 7 to 8% of the total global carbon dioxide emissions. So what is contributing to this carbon dioxide emissions? Now, as my fellow mates have already talked to you about the various, and Professor Bishnoi has talked to you about the production process, we know the various steps. So we can see here that clinker production has led to more than 50% of the carbon dioxide emissions among the various processes of the cement production. So what are the processes that is leading to this carbon dioxide emission during the clinker production? The major two processes that leads to these emissions is the limestone decomposition and the energy consumption in terms of the fuel. So we are utilizing temperature of 1500 degrees Celsius for the clinkerization, and that is leading to decomposition of limestone. With every molecule of limestone decomposing, we are having 1 molecule of carbon dioxide being emitted. And the energy consumption, for 1500 degrees Celsius centigrade temperature, we need fossil fuel energy, and we are burning those coals generally. And that is leading to, we all know, that is leading to higher carbon dioxide emissions. So there has been over the years efforts to reduce the clinker and to replace the clinker with products. And you can see here that in OPCs we are having 95% clinker content, in PPC we are again coming down to 70%, in slag cement we are coming down to 57%. Now the question is, how available these products are, so that we can use it further, like not only now, but also we can use it in the future. So in terms of LC3, we have seen that we can reduce the clinker up to 50%. Till now, as we have already seen, that we can reduce the clinker up to 50%. And I'll be coming to the availability in the next few slides. So, and this clinker replacement is leading to about 40% reduction in carbon dioxide emissions as compared to ordinary Portland cement. So here you can see this LC3 cement has the potential of reducing carbon dioxide emissions by more than 400 million tons carbon dioxide per year. And in the future, we can expect it to reduce the carbon dioxide emissions by more than 800 million tons carbon dioxide per year, almost the double. So this is also being talked about by the 2050 net zero emission plan, where this clinker savings, it is contributing to an 11% in the overall net zero emission plan that we plan to achieve by 2050. That is the net zero carbon dioxide emissions. So next I'll be discussing, I won't go into detail in this thing because this has already been discussed, and so how LC3 reduces the emissions. So basically we all have seen till now that LC3 is composed of the main components of limestone, calcine clay, gypsum and clinker. So this clinker has been reduced to 50% and the rest 50% is being taken up by this products. And as compared to OPC, it is having 95% clinker and 5% gypsum. So thereby, and in calcination of the clay, we are using temperatures like 800 to 900 degrees centigrade. And for the clinkerization temperature, we utilize temperatures like 1500 degrees centigrade. So that is quite high. So we need higher fuel requirements, thereby more emissions. And also in terms of the temperature, you can see it is leading to also more limestone decomposition. So the question that I had raised, like the discussion that I had regarding the reserves of the SCFs. So how much of these reserves we have? Are they sufficient for now, also for the future? So in this regard, you can see here that the clay, this is basically the SCM that we are talking about, but for that we need the clay reserves, right? So the clay reserves and the limestone reserves, they are abundant. Not only abundant, we also have them locally available. Due to which, what is happening, the transportation emissions, we don't need to go very high distances to get this clay or the limestone, as it has already been talked about that this reserves, although we need low grade clays, we don't require very high grade clays, and they are very locally available. The only thing that we need is the effort to find it, because these are not actually shown on the maps. So this is also leading to resource efficiency in terms of LC3. So the next point is it also leading to waste utilization? So as the points have already been raised here, that we need not go for very high purity limestones, we need not go for very high grade clays. So yes, also Professor Krishnan has talked about that we can also use marble dust, and it has shown great results. So we can also see that it has led to waste utilization when we are talking about the sustainability in terms of the waste. So next point I'm going to discuss is the LC3 contribution to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Now these are basically 17 goals laid down by the United Nations, and we can see that LC3 already supports 5 of the goals out of the 17 goals. So these are the 5 goals which are among the 17 sustainable goals. So this is goal number 9, goal number 11, goal number 12, goal number 13 and goal number 17. So goal number 9, it basically talks about industry, innovation and infrastructure. So here, LC3 is a product which is an innovation for the industry. It is a new product. So thereby, it is supporting this goal. We are providing a new product. Its composition is new. We are also having newer aspects to it. Next is the goal number 11, utilizing LC3 mainly to sustainable societies, because we are reducing the carbon dioxide emissions. We are reducing to less energy utilization, low consumption of fuels. Then coming to goal number 12, responsible consumption and production, yes, because we are utilizing resources which are abundant and locally available. We have reserves of them. So thereby, it is also supporting goal number 12. Goal number 13 is climate action. Reducing the CO2 emissions may lead to less global warming effect, may reduce the climate effects that we have now due to the more global warming that we are facing. Next is the goal number 17, partnerships for the goals. LC3 is not only a product of only one country. We are having many countries working, especially India. In India only, if we see, we are having so many institutions in IIT Delhi. We are having so much of research going on LC3. So we can say it is also supporting goal number 17. So to summarize my presentation, I would like to say that LC3 cement is a very sustainable product if we see in terms of the environmental aspects, because it is leading to lesser CO2 emissions, it is leading to reduced energy consumption, it is having efficient resource consumption, and also it is having the factor of utilization of waste. So after this, in terms of LCA, we will be looking into it, like what environmental impact also it can have. That will be shown to you by Professor Gettu. And then we will be looking into the economic aspects of sustainability by Dr. Neha. So thank you very much for your time and attention.